Well, hello there, YouTube. And welcome to a 63 degree. It was 55 this morning when we got up. That was very nice. But now it's 63, even though that's cool. The humidity's up kind of high, so it feels like it's a lot warmer than what it is. Oh, Kai. Goofy old hee-haw. Birds are chirping. Birds are really happy about their Tuesday morning. Or actually, it's Wednesday. Good Lord. Halfway through the week. Anyway, let's start off a hump day. 70, 76?
Yeah.
My watch actually says 72, wherever it's reading from. Yeah, so it's starting off
A little cooler than yesterday. So
maybe there's a little bit of a reprieve today.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ma, have yourself a wonderful Wednesday.
You too.
We'll slide over the hump here before too long and slide on back to the weekend.
I vote for that.
The weekends that seem to go too fast in the summertime.
They go very fast.
All right. Have yourself an awesome day there, Mama.
You too, hubby hub.
All right. Love you. See you. Bye.
Love you.
So do you guys remember the oil leaking 2013 ST? I guess they went for a ride. Bike ran great. Had a great time on it. Ran the best it ever. He just bought this thing. Plugs were fouled. I think they even knew it was running as bad as it was. But anyway, it was great. Parked it. Next morning they get up. There's oil on the ground in their garage. What in the holy heck? But I'll be looking at that thing today. We went and picked it up from northeastern Washington yesterday, so dang. So I ran out of time yesterday with the left side, but this is what it looks like with the pistons already cleaned and backed off using the BMW tool or any commercial available one. Just make sure it fits right and you don't damage anything. And you got 4 of them. You got 4 live pistons here. So yeah, you don't want any junk in there. You know, the old days of a single piston and a floating caliper, those days are over. Calipers bolted down solid and the pistons float. So if you got one, all it takes is one to be sticky in there and you got problems. That's part of the reason you change your brake fluid on a schedule like you should. You don't want any of this stuff getting messed up. All right, let's get this thing back together. And then I guess I gotta look at that ST and see why that thing is hemorrhaging once again. This, I'm really curious to find. This one's got me baffled. I heat cycled that thing I don't know how many times before I actually took it out for a ride. With all the covers off and everything, not a drip drop anywhere. So when it's sitting there idling, you know, it's got oil pressure. If it's got a leak, you're going to see it with it sitting there idling, especially when you let it get up to the full temp. You know, after I think about 3 heat cycles, you know, I put all the body work on it, took it for a ride, and never missed a beat. But I guess it took them, I guess he went, I don't know how long of a ride, but it ran perfect. It's just come back and the oil's leaking. I'm really curious to find out what this is. I don't know why. There's just something very satisfying about a freshly loaded caliper. Well, since I have the master cylinder all set up for this, I'm not gonna do the tire, but I'm gonna pull the rear caliper off and replace the pads and set everything back. Because you gotta reset the park brake and all that stuff. That way when he does the tire, you don't mess with any of that. You just drop it out of the way and pull the wheel off. It's easy to do. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Once you start with the brakes, let's continue with the brakes. How about that? So things are a bit different when you're working with the rear brakes on these things. One, the piston, get some light going here. The piston is like an automobile. The part that moves in and out of the bore has a rubber boot like a car, just because it's just so dirty back here. So And I think people have all figured this out by now, maybe my videos or other people's videos. The park brake is automatic. So people will, I like the Brembo right on the thing. They will try to use some kind of tool to back this thing off. Well, the park brake is stopping it because it's automatic. You have to turn that piston inwards. See the two holes? BRP shows some snap ring pliers. I think something else I've seen, like a pair of needle nose or whatever. Sometimes they get sticky and they don't go. Well, this customer, I haven't seen him in a while, oddly enough, but he built this out of an old socket because he fought that thing. And he built this thing, he goes, it works, and he gave it to me. And I've been using this thing ever since. I don't know what that thing's made out of, but it's never rusted or anything. But yeah, you just set it. Hold on. Get her in there. Yeah, so you just plop it in the hole and then a 3/8 socket, and you just turn it clockwise as it's facing you, clockwise. So you're going to turn clockwise towards the park brake arm, and it just backs off. And I just clean, you know, whatever residue around in there. This is the magic cup that holds the rocks, by the way. Right down there in the bottom there. It'll just be laying in there. Should be all polished up and real cool looking. Because that thing sits like this. And I don't know how they get in there, but they do. And this thing's all like cast iron. You ain't not going to hurt that. And the disc, you know, it's one thing to go metal to metal. You know, you got welding type of affair going on. A rock sitting in here, it just grinds on it. If you notice it, you'll hear it going ch-ch-ch. Not to be confused with the crosshatch honing thing they do on these front discs. Like, this thing is going to make a scratchy sound for quite a while until them metal pads, I'll put them all away, but you'll see there's a lot of metal content in the pads. And it's scratching across those hone marks. That's why when you buy these things new, number one thing we get a call back on, my front brakes sound like they're dragging. They're not dragging, they're just going across the honing. It'll go away as it wears in, but everything beads in and comes really happy with each other. It's like seating a set of rings. All right, let me get at her. Well then, we're rolling. I filmed one last clip, and I was just kind of adding up my time here to see what I've recorded today. That's why I'm kind of starting off not mid-ride, but after I'm going. I need to cut my time short. I think I said this last time I rode this. This thing runs really good. You know, these things are pretty much carbon copies of each other, but I don't know if it's the way, I know the way I break things in, they come out really good. And I ride a whole bunch of different things, and a lot of things like I have, they never run like mine. So I don't know what the story is with this one, but it runs really good and really strong. I like them when they just feel like they want to just leave you behind. Like, I'm on this ride. If you can hang on, good on you. If not, I'll see you back at the house. Yeah, buddy. What a magical day. Oh. That Harley should, well, I guess when it gets a certain temperature, a lot of people aren't comfortable riding. I won't I'll go out just for the heck of it, just because it's so hot. Can I survive a ride? Let's take the Himalayan out in 116 degrees. Isn't that what it was that one day? Holy moly, that was hot. That was, there's almost no air left outside. No more oxygen. Get home. So I was riding along there as I was moving. I was at 93, which I think is about where it's at now. I sat at that light for a couple minutes there, and oh, it's down to 100 now. It's 102, so yeah, you sit still, it definitely it picks up some chassis heat. I wonder how much better that the sensor being forwarding in the nose like that. I wonder how much better that works. When you're moving, it's very accurate. You know, some, especially since I've been out to the Sea to Sky, I think a Sea to Sky Spider just needs to be green. That's its nature, I think. Well, Sea to Sky's got to see a little bit of nature here, right? Big old fir trees and stuff. Gotta take my little nature route, my little woodsy area in the city. Although that Orchards Park's good, but you're just kind of driving around it. They would frown on me heavily if I was to bust out and go running through the middle of the park, where the hikers and walkers and bicyclists all go through. You'll have to get pretty angry at me, you reckon? Besides that, it's illegal by somebody's rules, I would imagine. That'd be kind of cool, getting a ticket on a customer's bike. Just make sure that she didn't have anything to bounce off that stick, like a rock, or she's swinging that thing around like she's going for the home run. I just don't want to be involved with any of that. Yeah, this one's a runner. So that should be good enough. I didn't record most of my ride. I was trying to do the initial beating in of the brakes here. Everybody find their home. Well, thanks for coming along on the Sea to Sky ride. How about that? We've been talking about it long enough. Let's take her for a ride. All right, we'll see you guys here in a bit. You know, when I've brought up the this is the oil leaking ST, by the way, and yeah, it's oil all over the place. This is what it's dripped since I put it on my rack. Nice fresh BRP oil. So I tell you guys, you know, shops don't like taking anything over 10 years old, and you go, oh, that's big ass, blah 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 blah. It's because it cost us, non-stop cost us, because you can predict some old clapped out thing when something's gonna break. This is a really nice ST, but the fact is, it's one of the old 990s, and it's, well, the 2023 is about to be announced, so it's a 10-year-old vehicle. And this is the kind of stuff you run into. So at crazy expense, driving back and forth over into Northeast Washington, it's like five and a half hour trip, something like that. I don't know what it is, but long ways. Driving a diesel truck with a big trailer on the back. And yeah, when it left here, it was perfect. I know that because I found what the oil leak is. It's kind of like that box of light bulbs. You think they're all going to last, but then one of them either doesn't work at all, or you know, goes out real quick. You can't predict when these things are going to fail. So the oil, nothing we did, everything we did is perfect. The bike ran perfect. Even the customer said it ran perfect. And when he parked in his garage, he goes out the next day or whenever it was, and there's a pool of oil on the ground. That's because a part failed. See that thing that looks like a bolt right there? That's the oil pressure switch. It failed, and when it failed, the oil is just passing straight through and leaking out, coming down that little coupler and dripping. I thought it had a coolant leak as well, till I swiped my hand underneath there, and it was oil on the coolant pipe or a coolant hose. And that's, I go, oh yeah, look at that. And it still had a little bit of pressure because I drove it up here, and about every 15-20 seconds, another drop was coming out of that pressure switch, riding down the end of that coupler and dropping off. So these pans over here on the right-hand sides are full. But shockingly, we had one in stock. Nobody knows why we would have this in stock. And did some research, and in 2015, when we merged all the Longview store stuff into the Vancouver store here, Kelly, in 2015, 7 years ago, actually it was over 7 years ago, put this in our inventory. I haven't sold one in 7 years. Nobody's asked for it, nothing. It's just not a failed part. Nobody knows why we have it, but we don't have access to the old history from the Longview store because that business is closed. You only got to keep it for 3 years. So anyway, we had one, a $14 part, and the crazy expense of driving all the way to Northeast Washington and back multiple times. And this will probably happen again. It's an old bike. They're prone to things going wrong. And how much do you save when you get a good deal on something like this? If you want a Spider, buy a new one. Bite the bullet, buy a new one. And if this is the only thing you can get, this is literally the most expensive thing you're ever going to buy. It's like the old saying, you'll never have a more expensive horse than one that was given to you. Here you are. So, I'm not angry. I'm just bummed that all this happened and we get a whole bunch of heat over this. And it's just somebody saving money, found a good deal on an old Spider and a part failed. And it's our fault, or specifically my fault, which I had nothing to do with it. Oh well, life happens. I'm not angry, trust me. If I was bitter, you'd know it. I'd be cranky, and I wouldn't even do it. I'm never bitter. I'm too old to let these things get me down. I've seen this kind of stuff way too often, and that's why that 10-year rule came about, and everybody's doing it, and I could not be happier. So anyway, that's it for the day. Well, hello there, YouTube. Man, it's like 10 minutes to sunset. It's a bummer. Sunset is at 8:50 tonight. The days aren't supposed to get this short so quick.
I know, it happens fast.
Next thing you know, we'll be saying, hey, we'll be saying goodbyes from the car. That's horrible because it's pouring down rain outside.
Yep.
It's amazing how fast it goes by. But it's hard to even think about that when it's 100 degrees outside every day. It wasn't that bad today. I don't know. I think 94, 95, somewhere around there. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Still felt quite hot, but we're kind of getting used to it now. Techs are out there working on boats out in the parking lot. Probably just kind of going along. They don't even discuss the weather already. Kind of one of those, when you're passing each other in the hallway kind of thing. Yeah, sure, it's hot. Yep. Supposed to be whatever tomorrow. But anyway, I think we're gonna make the goodbye nice and short and sweet and roll the heck on out.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give her a thumbs up, and you guys have an amazing Thursday or Friday.
Heck yeah. All right. Thursday already tomorrow, man. Yeah. That's cool. All right.
We'll see you in the morning.
We'll see you then. Thanks for watching now. Bye-bye.